It's not just the answers, not just the quotes. It's life in the margins. It's time for CluffsNotes.
Claiming.
So, when I became a strengths coach with Gallup years ago, I learned this very simple developmental sequence. Name it, claim it, and aim it. And I've always appreciated that straightforward, how simple it was. Just moving something from interesting, naming it, to useful, aiming it. Not stopping at labeling it, but rather exploring it as a tool. And since these swirling patterns had always been happening in my head, I started to wonder what would it look like if I could learn more about claiming and aiming these things. If I understand them better, perhaps I can actually use them more purposefully. The newest edition of this available thought partners had me thinking about how I could even approach this discovery with specific intentionality. So, of course, I decided to get a little nerdy with it.
Committees.
I approached it in the same way that I approach the work in my leadership world. If you've ever worked in public education, you know how quickly things can shift. I used to say all the time that the only constant in the system is that nothing stays constant. And navigating that as a leader, you don't do it alone. You bring in perspective. You hear from others. You widen how you're seeing things. That's what helped me survive those moments like that brush fire. In leadership, whenever something got complex, I didn't try to hold it myself. I built teams to try to see it more clearly. And some of the best outcomes I've experienced came from working with diverse teams and committees that helped me see things more clearly, especially in situations that weren't simple. They helped me better understand other perspectives. So when I started thinking about how to explore what was happening in my head, I wanted to approach it in that same way. I built this committee structure. It was a virtual AI-supported committee structure. I modeled it after how I would gather input on my campuses, distilling it down into these 5 targeted committees. Each one would give me a space to explore a specific part of my thinking, a place that I could return to over time and keep building within it. I created different places to explore things like what a signal might be, what externalization might look like, how and where I find patterns, what helps me distill, what is coherence. I wasn't trying to overstructure it, I wasn't trying. I was giving myself different angles to think from, places where I entered the conversation with a specific focus for that exploration. But once those 5 were in place, I realized something was still missing. If I was going to do this well, I needed a place to bring it all back together. So that's where I built my 6th committee, my sense-making studio. Like the leadership committees that were on my campus, I designed this to be a kind of steering committee for the whole thing. It was in that committee I stepped back to think about the bigger picture, what I was actually trying to do, shape direction, define boundaries, help frame the goals, create questions, and eventually reflect on what was going to come out from the other committees. And once my system was organized, I was ready to start.
Another reel for the shelf.